If everyone could take their seats, please. We are about to start, and welcome. We'll just start with a piece of music which was one of my mother's favorite pieces of music. If you open your program, this is not the welcome, but if you open the program, the beginning piece of music is called Where'er You Walk, and it is from Handel. Handel wrote it, and I'll tell you more about it afterwards, but Mom loved it. There's some more seats. Are you guys okay? There's a few seats here and there. There's some more seats at the back. Okay. Yeah. Raise your hand if you've got a free seat next to you so that we can make room for everybody. Thank you. And welcome. 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 Welcome, Sequoians, those who are here in person and those who are in your bedrooms or living rooms with this service being piped to you. Welcome, family. Can you hear me? Yeah? Okay, welcome, family who are here in person and family who are here on Zoom, and friends here coming from all over, from flying in from Wisconsin, Seattle, Los Angeles, across from Europe as well. And those of you, family, friends, who are on Zoom from across the United States and from Europe, welcome. Welcome, everybody. And thank you so, so much for coming. My mother would be very happy to see all of you all at once. So thank you. I'm Betsy's daughter, Sue Bowerman. Yeah? Okay. Just a few little housekeeping points before we formally start. Those who are visitors, that means not Sequoians living here, if you haven't already, please, for COVID regulations the Sequoians have, you must write your name legibly and your phone number so that we can track and trace in case anybody ends up with COVID who is here now, then we can let everybody know. What else is there? Yeah, that's it. Oh, and please wear your mask unless you're up here speaking. I just put mine on the arm so that it's easy to take on and off. Okay, so this memorial service was actually planned by my mother with Alan and me several years ago. And we never knew when this was going to happen. So, like my mother, there are some elements of surprise. There are some irreverent, silly moments, and there are some deep, profound moments as well. And the one thing my mom said is that you'll see that on the program there are different speakers, many different speakers who are all here in the front row. My mom said, I don't want anybody to be bored, so nobody can speak of the speakers for more than 1 minute. So please, it's not a personal insult, I'm not on your case, but I have little signs that I will be raising to remind you, you've taken 30 seconds, it's 1 minute now, your time is up, you are over 1 minute, get off. Okay. Alan mentioned the other day, you know, your mom was a kind of a bully, and so are you, and so's your daughter. So, yeah, that's about the 1 minute. It's not personal. And the other thing my mom said is she wanted people to mention not only her strengths, but also her weaknesses. She wanted it to be a fair representation of her. And like all of us, we have our strengths and weaknesses. So this first song that you just listened to, Where'er You Walk, was actually a song that I sang at Mom and Alan's wedding. I walked my mother up the aisle. My brother died just before that. And he will be giving the final word. You can see Tom Herbert as his little poem at the end. So this brings it full circle, the song that was sung at their wedding and the song that is sung at the end of their marriage now. What else? I just want to thank everybody who has contributed, all the photos that you've sent in. So we have this wonderful slideshow. All of you on the audiovisual, so Chuck and Dave and Neil and Lily and everybody that has helped with the flowers, Julia and Yvette and Janine, and everyone that has helped with welcoming, Sally and Robin with the guest books. Please, if you haven't signed the guest book and made your comments, they're there. They will also be in the lounge afterwards. So we'd love to hear what you have to say. What else? Oh, apologies, Robin. Where are you, Robin? Apologies, Robin. I only said Robin Carpenter. I somehow forgot to write Robin Fox, so my apologies on that one in the program. But then everybody knows Robin is a carpenter. And yeah, you can find the words in the program to all the songs. And without any further ado, let's sing the first hymn. Susan Antipa is going to speak on friendship. Susan was one of Mom's dearest friends from her Lake Tahoe era.
Meeting Betsy and becoming part of her Truckee family set the course of my life. We were first introduced in October 1978 over the checkout desk of the Truckee Library. Shortly after I began my job as the branch librarian. A couple of weeks later, on a snowy November morning, I went to the start of the annual Donner Lake Turkey Trot, to see who would be crazy enough to run around the lake in a snowstorm. There was Betsy, dressed in shorts over long underwear, her blue anorak, and hand-knit hat and mittens. I instantly knew I would like this new acquaintance and went over to talk with her. She invited me to her house for tea, and the rest is history. In the few years we spent together in Truckee, we shared some major life experiences that led to our lifelong friendship. Betsy, my mentor and friend, I will love you always.
Next, we have something from Francie. Francie is not able to be here, so those who contributed and are joining us on Zoom had to allocate a surrogate speaker. And Francie is Aunt Claire's, so Mom's sister's daughter, and my daughter will be reading that.
Aunt Betsy sent me a birthday card every birthday, over 60 cards. While she could come across as abrupt sometimes, she was genuinely warm and loving. She was decisive. She was determined. She knew her own mind and was not afraid to tell it like it was. And she had such an infectious and engaging smile. On one of her visits to our family in Farmington, she made a delicious and gorgeous lattice cherry pie. It was a work of art. Visiting me at college in Wisconsin in 1974, 3 memories spring to mind. We sat outside for dinner at a fancy kind of a place under twinkly lights. We both ate warm parsley salad, and she wore a brightly colored halter dress she had made. I remember telling her how cool it was. 2 weeks later, I received a similar halter dress in the mail. Once she sent me a secret stone, as she wasn't supposed to take it home. I still have it, a lovely light gray stone with lacy white lines on its surface. I carried a small light pearly heart rock back from one of my long Camino walks, and she was flabbergasted that I was willing to carry it in my backpack for her. Of course I would. In March, my mom, Claire, and I came for a short visit when she was not well, but she gave us her best effort that night at dinner with Alan. I remember her smile, soft and tired and genuine.
Sally, have you made it? Are you here? This is Sally Young, who has flown in from Wisconsin. She's one of my mother's very, very dear friends.
This is a birthday card that I sent to Betsy on this last birthday, but as usual I was late, and so she never saw the card. Dear Betsy, I remember when you began thinking about moving into the Sequoias and you said, no more gifts. I thought, no more gifts? Not even a candle? You said no, not even a candle. So here's what I would send you if I could. The feeling of smooth granite warmed by the sun. The feeling of a waterfall shower on a hot summer day. The feeling of new fallen snow under your skis. The glorious color of a wildflower meadow. the sweet smell of water on a cold mountain stream, the deep quiet in a dark forest, the sublime light of the Milky Way in a new moon, and a piece of the deepest, darkest chocolate I could find.
Next is Randy Carpenter, Alan's son.
Thank you. Mine is titled The Teacher. She has been the most influential woman in my life. She stood for things. She stood strong, well-founded, educated, and informed. She was well-read and our Lady Wisdom. She was long-suffering. She was also steadfast, stubborn to a fault, and would not allow the wisdom she was gifted with to be carelessly disrespected. She had literally gone through hell to obtain some of her gems of wisdom. She taught me the hard lesson of to respect. She was a forward thinker, focused, a Proverbs 31 woman. She would accomplish more in a day before 9 a.m. than most would accomplish in their whole day. Idle was not in her dictionary. Her desk world is legendary, her throne of control. Out of control, unprepared was simply not acceptable. God help you if you failed to reply to her outreach communications. This is disrespectful and offended. This offense would not go quietly into the night. It would be held against you in her court. I learned accountability, humility, and communication skills from Betsy. She highly valued family and unity, and we celebrate this today.
Next we have Kindness by my son Neil.
Good morning. I'm Neil, Betsy's grandson. There are so many stories that I could share about Grandma today, but I wanted to share a short anecdote that I thought epitomizes Betsy's kindness and her approach to life. As a child, we would spend long Californian summers with the grandparents, and every few days, Grandma and Grandpa would attempt to instill in us a love of reading by taking us down to the local public library, letting us pick out some books to read by the pool. I remember becoming enamored with a children horror series called Goosebumps, much to the disdain of some of the grown-ups in my life. And when it was proposed that I be forbidden from reading this Goosebumps series, Grandma came to my rescue. It matters not what he is reading, it matters that he is reading, she said far more eloquently than I ever could have. I thought this tale epitomizes Grandma in a few ways. One, she prioritized education above almost all else, to which I benefited greatly. Two, she was kind and thoughtful when approaching tricky trade-offs, and wasn't afraid to avoid sweating the small stuff. Three, she wasn't worried about rocking the boat with her opinions and her approaches to life. And four, she would often side with the little guy, whether a small child, our future selves via an advance directive, or a small alpine flower that she would reach down and address by its full Latin name. So Grandma, thank you for everything that you've given us.
Robin is next, Alan's daughter, on being succinct.
Greetings. If you've ever called Alan and Betsy and got the answering machine, my favorite one was, "You've reached," Betsy's voice, 650-424-4395. Please leave a message and be succinct." And that was so Betsy, because she did not suffer fools and loquacious talking and on and on. However, and especially grammatical errors, not at all. But in contrast, her listening skills were amazing, outstanding, the best I've ever seen, the best I've ever heard. And through her listening skills and her generosity and her thoughtfulness and her gigantic love, she healed an entire family. Wow. Her love is vast, and this is one of those times when you actually do get to say, never leave.
Creston is next, one of Mom's stepdaughters.
Morning. I can so relate to everything everybody has said, because Betsy was just so wonderful. And I've known Betsy pretty much my entire life. She was married to my dad for a time in the 70s when they lived at Alpine Meadows, and then they built their beautiful house up on Donner Summit. But at my young age, Betsy became a big influence in my life. Along with my dad, she helped foster my love, or a love of the outdoors and respect for the outdoors. And that continues to this day, but back then it meant many backpacking trips, hiking trips, cross-country skiing trips, great memories. She also taught me the importance of being educated and being curious. And I remember one day when I was a kid, we were driving by the sheriff's station in Tahoe City. And I just blurted out, "I wonder how they do fingerprints." Well, next thing I know, we're doing a U-turn, and I'm in the sheriff's station being fingerprinted. And just so you know, that's the only time that's happened. But I'll be forever grateful to Betsy, and I honestly believe I wouldn't be the person that I am today without the influence of Betsy in my life. And I will miss her.
Next we have Lauren, Mom's grandson.
Grandma was the epicenter, the eye of the storm that includes all of us. She was also the connection, the tie that binds us together today, the person who facilitated, encouraged, and inhabited so much greatness in our lives. She brought us together through the things she taught us, through the stories, through the shared events and experiences, and through strong values and beliefs, through her force of being. Speaking for myself, I learned so many things from Grandma. How to hold a fork and knife, how to sew a button, how to swim, how to cross country. I really didn't learn cross country, that was terrible. I bet many of you learned something from Grandma too. Self-reliance especially was a virtue Grandma took seriously. Grandma brought us together through the moments she shared with us. Just one to share today. I got to rock climb with many of you on Donner Pass. Because of her memories in those mountains became our memories for a whole family one summer. She connected them, and she connected all of us in the process. Family is a real, tangible gift from God, made more so from Grandma. Grandma had the ability to connect with everyone and make them feel special. At the same time, she was able to pull the important and the real things out and shine daylight upon the things that really matter in our lives. Through that, she encouraged us to be better, to do more, not to settle, but to strive. The stories, the moments, and events we share, and the culture that is left behind mean that Grandma will always be here, between each of us and the world we share. Grandma bound us together with the world, the natural one she loved, and the cultural one we build. She connected us and opened our eyes to the experiences we can have within. Thank you, Grandma, from all of us.
Next we have Brett, Alan's son, Enigma.
Wow, thanks for all of you being here. She'd be quite honored with all your presence. My speech just went out because everybody took the speech before me about all her accomplishments and what she meant, and I'd like to refocus on two things. One, her marriage to Alan. She was an excellent spouse, and Alan, you were an excellent spouse in return. It was a great marriage. Two, about almost 34 years ago, somewhere in there, she went out to see Sue with her birth in Iowa, and she befriended Yvette, who is now my wife. So when Yvette was done with Iowa, she went out to California. She didn't know who to talk to. So she rang up Yvette. Yvette rang up Betsy, who was just about to leave, to Petaluma, where she met my brother and helped her move into his brand new home. And Yvette saw one look of handsome, happily married Randy and asked Betsy, do you have any leftovers? And here I am. So I would attribute the marriage that I saw and attribute to the marriage I'm in. Thank you.
So Yvette is going to do a surrogate talk for Darsa Nicholson, one of Mom's dear friends, who is joining us on Zoom.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for all being here today. I'm going to read this, hopefully. This is from Darsa. Betsy saved us. Betsy rescued me from Tahoe Donna Hospital in 1976 after having lower leg sewn, stapled, and wired back on from a Donna Summit cross-country ski event. She kept me safe for 2 weeks in her Truckee house until my friends from Berkeley picked me up. Becky Thrun said the same thing to me today and shared a story of how Betsy had rescued her too. Becky lived in Truckee while Betsy lived there and mentioned that Betsy was always helping the injured and down of heart. Then Becky moved to Ukiah, but would come down to Betsy's gathering of friends at her house in Truckee. At one of these, that both Becky and I attended, Betsy reminded us that we had met before at one of her gatherings in her Truckee house, but we had not realized. Betsy was always introducing the like-minded people to each other. She was a good networker, helping people meet others to help them fulfill their needs, building a house, cross-country ski trips, healing after injuries, etc. In 2009, Betsy told me Jonathan Middlebrook was a keeper. We are now married. In 1996, Betsy and Alan housed me in Los Altos while I audited anatomy at Stanford Medical School. What an exquisite woman and powerfully inspiring person. She is my guide, my guardian, truly willing to let me anoint her feet. She loved her foot massages. Except the last one, I saw her in the health center while she waited, and all she really wanted was Alan to be at her bedside with her. They are really true loves. I know she's helping us from the other side. I truly believe the ancient wisdom, you do not die until the last person you know dies. Sending love, hugs, gratitude, appreciation, and a healing wherever healing is called for. Thank you so much. From Darsa, Betsy's favorite witch. Thank you.
Now, I warned you there would be some irreverent aspects. Alan.
Betsy loved words. She loved to read, she loved poetry, she loved to play with words, and I'm going to give you an example of a ditty that she used to sing all of our grandchildren. Once a big molice pan saw a biddlum stitting on a cerbcum chewing gubble-bum. I said the big molice pan, won't you see me gum? Tinny on your nenta, said the biddlum, scoliot. So Sue, scoliot.
Neil, Julia?
Do you mind if I introduce this?
Okay.
Is it okay if I introduce this?
Oh, Yeah, go ahead.
So one of my earliest ever memories was traveling late into the night on the East Coast to visit Grandma's sister, my great Aunt Claire, who's actually with us on Zoom today. And when we finally got there and settled down, some folks stood up and performed what I assumed to be the family song. And it went a little something like this.
No, we need to be here.
Oh, we're going to be here. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
and one on either side.
Ready?
Okay, ready. 1, 2, 3, go.
Skinny-ma-rinky-dinky-dink, skinny-ma-rinky-doo. I love you.
Skiddy-ma-rinky-dinky-dink, skiddy-ma-rinky-doo. I love you. I love you in the morning and in the afternoon. I love you in the evening and underneath the moon. Oh, skiddy-ma-rinky-dinky-dink, skiddy-ma-rinky-doo. I love you.
Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. A long ways from home. A long ways from home. Come, my brother, a long ways from home. A long ways from home. Sometimes I feel like I'm almost gone. Sometimes I feel like I'm almost gone. Sometimes I feel like I'm almost gone. A long ways from home. A long ways from home. Come, my sister, a long ways from home. A long ways from
The last piece is a little poem written by my brother, Tom Herbert, and my mom wanted this in the service. Are you ready? It's very short. I wondered how to tell my friends that I had died when a jay flew by and cried out my existence. So we will finish now with the last song, The Rose, and you can sing it or listen.
Some say love, it is a river that drowns the tender reed. Some say
In closing, I would like to share a quick little story. As my mother was getting older and aging, she said to me, "Susie, getting old is not for the faint-hearted. One by one, everything that you have called yourself, your body, your abilities, your talents, all the things that you give to people, one by one, they get taken away." What she didn't say, but what I saw in her last days, as all those things had been taken away, was that love is not taken away. She shined with so much love for all of us. Thank you. So everybody is welcome to listen to the, oh no, we did that already. Is welcome to go to the lounge for light refreshments. And somebody asked if they wanted to give a donation, where could we give it? And Alan said, well, just tell them to read the obituary in the New York Times. So yes, it's written in the obituary, New York Times, San Francisco Chronicle, Palo Alto, Los Altos, Tahoe, something or other, Sierra Sun, all over. But also, I'll just tell you that she supported the Peninsula Open Space Trust and the Nature Conservancy. So please, if you haven't signed the register and you'd like to write something, please do so and come and join us for refreshments in the lounge. Thank you so much for coming.